few months ago, I came across these iconic subwoofers called the Funky Pup. Now, if you don't know Funky Pup, you don't know subwoofers. Stay tuned till later in the video. We'll talk about these, but we had to find an amp that can handle these subs. So what did we find? Let's get it unwrapped and see what's inside the plastique. Yes, my friends, it's the classic Pyramid Royal Red PB-545x, aka coolest amp ever made. $155 in 2003 equates to about $260 in today's money. Walmart liked this amp so much they even have it on their website currently, $133.99. It is out of stock, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll restock with this coolest amp ever made. Now let's look at the manual for this beast. Congratulations on your purchase. Here's all the specs. Some they show us, some that they hide from us, but right off the bat, 400 watts by 2 output, 800 watts by 1 bridged. So many other amazing specifications for this 2-channel beast of an amplifier that looks like it was designed by an Italian artist. Now, if we take a closer look at the manual and actually get to the page of the PB-545X, we will see they give RMS power outputs at 4 ohms and 2 ohms, 50 watts by 2 at 4 ohms, 80 watts by 2 at 2 ohms. Of course, we know Pyramid always underrates stuff, so it's going to do way more than that, right? Faux show. Now look what we also have. The remote bass adjustment connection thingamajiggy. It's actually a box that has a cable, and it looks pretty cool. It's actually chrome plated, just like your 1985 Mongoose Freestyle bicycle. Here's the amp, and you can see the Royal Red, the cool corners look like they have fans. Here's a plexi, smoked plexi, showing the internals of the amp are actually teasing the internals. Speaking of teasing, just this external, man, it just exudes quality, uniqueness, and just Pyramid. I mean, from the early 2000s. Such a cool amp. Here you can see the inputs, high level as well as RCA. Of course, those are non-Tiffany style. They prefer Debbie Gibson. Then we have power protection LEDs as well as a connection for your telephone. Of course, so the ET can phone home. We additionally have the evil control from minimum to max, depending on how evil you want to be. Frequency control there for a full, low pass, or high pass. A bass boost at 60 Hertz, which is a perfect frequency to boost your bass. Low pass filter adjustment and high pass filter adjustment as well. On the opposite end, we have the 48 karat gold plated screws for the speakers. You can see left and right, as well as bridge connection there. Left plus right minus is your bridge. Then we have a 15 amp fuse, which I think is a 1.5 trilliamp fuse, so it's not exactly an amp, but anyway, we'll get to that later. You also have ground, remote, and 12 volt battery. Again, 48 karat gold plated, super conductive, awesome sauce. Make sure you're having your sunglasses here so you don't get blinded by the bling of the chrome and all the other shiny parts of this awesome amplifier. Of course, it's made in China back in 2003, 2004-ish, which all the best amps at the time were made. Here is the bass remote again. Shiny chrome, but we're going to make it even more shiny. But before we do that, let's check out this phone jack here, RJ11, which takes us back to the old days, which is what they use, a rotary phone for the booty call. We won't get into that in this segment because it is family friendly. Now, we did notice this bass remote enclosure had a little bit of, I don't know, not so shininess to it. So we decided to get out the Soul Glow and polish it up so we could make it look like some sexual chocolate and have it real shiny, just like you like it, just like you need it to for adjusting your bass knob. You got to have it shiny so that when you turn it, the bling kind of reflects off your car, your windshield, and blinds you while you're driving. Ain't nothing like having a chrome bass knob. Of course, after all that polishing, this thing is a fingerprint magnet. That's all right. Let's power it up. We see green LED. Green is good. Power up the amp dyno so we can perform the amp dyno test to find out how powerful this amplifier is. If you've never seen these tests, on the left we show the RMS power output in watts. In the middle, the ohm load, the right, the voltage of the dyno. We'll also show the remote clamp indicator so we can calculate efficiency.
This here's my favorite part.
First test we're going to run at the wheels, the stereo test. 4 ohms, it's rated 50 watts by 2 RMS power at 1 kilohertz at 14.4. We do have a little less voltage than that because we want to try around 13.5. So let's see what we get. Rated 50 by 2, and we get close, 46 and 44. It actually might have done 50 watts by 2 had we have given it 14.4. But you guys always ask, give me some realistic voltage like 13.5. Well, here you go. Here's your 13.5, so to stop complaining it didn't meet rated power. Uncertified 47 and 45 up to the clipping point, again 1 kilohertz, around 13.3 volts. Dynamically, yes, we did actually bust the 50 watts per channel, 51 and 50 at 13.34. What about that efficiency? This is a Class AB amplifier, so 57% is about what we'd expect. Let's move on to the 2 ohm 2-channel test. It's rated 80 watts by 2 RMS power. Let's try certified test first. Takes us up to 1% distortion, and we're quite a bit shy here. 64 and 61, 13.16. Now let's try the uncertified test, which takes us up to the clipping point. See if we can get closer to that 80 watts, and not so much. 65 and 61 at 13.1. What about dynamically? Can we get the 80 watts by 2? We're right at it. Oh yes, we do get it. Praise Jesus. 85 and 82 at 13.3. What about the efficiency? I'm sure it dropped some more. 49% at 2 ohms, 1 kilohertz. So the next part, Pyramid doesn't tell you in the manual, but the bridge test actually opens up the power of this amplifier. They don't even provide the ratings, and there's a reason why. So bridging this amp opens up the flux capacitor capability, and check this out. Well, that's right, we get into the gigawatts. We get 1.27 gigawatts certified at 4 ohms bridged with this Pyramid Royal Red. What you got to say about that, Doc?
Gigawatts of electricity. 1.21 gigawatts!
It's actually 1.27 gigawatts, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, Doc, because I saw there you weren't subscribed. Uncertified, that's right, we're busting out even more power, 1.32 gigawatts at 13.2 volts. What about dynamically? What are we going to get? Even more power. That's right, 1.53 gigawatts. Oh, it's jumping up, 1.57 at 13.31. What about the efficiency? Well, all we can say is it's more efficient than a Tesla-powered Prius.
This is not a Mickey Mouse program!
Now, before we get to the part where we show the actual internals of this amazing amplifier, we decided to get out these amazing subs so we could do the It Bump Doe segment. And yeah, that's right, we say it's time to get funky because we're pulling out the Funky Pups, the 12-inch Funky Pups, which were brand new in box. And these are the grandfather sub to the famous Omega 40K toroidal coil subwoofers.
What do you think, 40,000 watts? 40,000 at 0 ohm. 0. No impedance level whatsoever.
So let's get funky like a monkey!
Now we have the Pyramid Royal Red wired up to the Funky Pup 12-inch subs. And yeah, you just kind of have to be ready for this. So are you ready? Get out your headphones. Here we go. How about a little woofer test?
Damn, shit bump.
So I know many of you may be asking why I ran the subs free air instead of putting them into the recommended enclosure. Well, I had some talks with NASA and they warned me if I did that, we may actually open up a black hole and we may all be gone. So I figured you guys want to stick around for a little bit, see the rest of the video. Now we have to find out what's inside this Pyramid Royal Red earthquake-causing amplifier. Roll that beautiful beam music. After a few minutes of disassembly, we finally reached the center of the Tootsie Pop. As you can see, lots of goodies here. We have chips from Texas Instruments with no dip. We also have the JRC or Jason Rose Corporation chip, as well as some yellow caps for your 9, including the ones that are 1000 microfarad, 35 volts, 105 degrees Celsius, almost as hot as Rob Schneider in the movie Hot Chick. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Now let's roll with the pros and cons of the goods and bads of this Pyramid Royal Red amplifier. First up, gigawatts, however you say it, of power available, 20 years old and still working, has that variable 60 hertz bass boost for your low bass needs, screw down terminals, 48 karat gold plated, of course, 2-channel or bridged, easy access to that fuse, and design like Bugatti. What about things to consider? Class AB low efficiency, except when you bridge it, has standard RCAs, not Tiffany. Apparently, Pyramid just didn't want to pay royalties to Tiffany. Either way, so much bling and make your ears ring. There's no doubt this amp is just amazing, but you need the Funky Pup subs to reach the maximum output of this amplifier. Now the secret is out. You guys know the Pyramid Royal Red series amplifiers are ones that you definitely want to buy if you can find one. These are rare earth gems. If you guys like the Funky Pup subs I showed and want to see an entire video on those, let me know, because I would actually be pretty happy to make an entire video on those. Thanks as always for watching. This is Big D. Till next time, I'm out of here. One more test for the road. 2 ohms bridge mono, dynamic power, 1 kilohertz. We're busting 2 gigawatts. That's right, 2.04 gigawatts, 13.22. Woo!